Chapter 30. After Josie the agent told us our offer was accepted, we sprang into action. A million things had to be done before we could finally get the house key. 100 pounds of paper had to be signed. The bank had sent special people to judge the value of the house. Then there were inspections. In the middle of the chaos, I got another call. Mia, this is Mr. and Mrs. Wong over at Lotus Garden. You said to call you when we had an extra large to go order for dumplings from a hotel. Well, we have one. I gasped, gesturing for Dad to hand me a notebook. What's the name of the hotel? I asked. After Mrs. Wong told me the name, I jotted it down and I thanked her. Turning to my dad, I cried, Drop your papers. I found a Chinese football team. They're at Ambrose. Let's go. The Ambrose was a small modern hotel in the heart of Pasadena. Stepping inside, I saw they had a giant ceramic rose encased in a glass at the front desk. I wonder if it was a nod to the Rose Ball. Lupe smiled when she saw it too. I'd asked her and Jason to come along. Whoa, Lupe said, walking toward the rose, but I pulled back. Remember last time what happened when we went to another hotel's front desk? I led her to the seats by the fireplace instead. We all sat on the couch, wriggling impatiently. Lupe looked down at the maths paper she brought along with her, but none of us could concentrate on anything. We were all dying to ask the footballers our own questions. Jason wanted to know how they got past their parents' advice and comments. Lupe wanted to know how they got past all the stereotypes of what girls were supposed to do. And I wanted to know if they were proud to be playing in America because it's America, or proud to be trailblazers because they're Chinese. I leaned against my football ball, which I'd brought along with me. If it were me, I'd definitely feel both. I stared into the fireplace as we waited, mesmerized by the moving embers. What was it about the moving flames that made Dad feel like we'd arrived? Was it the warm glow or the crackling sound? I closed my eyes, imagining a popcorn of dreams was coming true in our new fireplace. What you thinking about? Lupe asked, looking up from her mats. Our new house. I turned to Dad and asked, When are we going to get it? Why do we have to wait? I could hear Coma's whimpers in my head. I imagined him curling up by my feet in front of our future fireplace. They have to do all the inspections and that takes a little bit of time. Lupe reached over her hand to the fire, feeling the warmth. Just think, we can finally make s'mores over Christmas. I smiled, then remembered, if I get in, I'll be in San Francisco. You will get in, Lupe said. No, Lupe, it's like crazy competitive, I reminded her. Not as competitive as Matt's Cup. She took out the crinkled worksheet and I leaned over. It was like reading a foreign language. This is only a fraction of what we have to know, she said. The Centilla Beach team, they don't even need these worksheets. They already have them in their head. Wow, I said. Still, it's not what you know, it's how you use it. Well, they use it in half the time. If they're rushing, they'll make mistakes, I insisted. I glanced over at the elevators. Still no sign of the football team. That's what Allie was saying too, she said. I really want us to win so the boys can see it's possible. That girls can kick butts at mats. We don't have to be just the butt of their tennis jokes. Um, Lupe rolled her eyes and asked, What do you call a girl who stands in the middle of a tennis court? What? Jason and I asked. A net. Jason threw his head back and laughed so hard the flames in the fireplace shook. I rolled my eyes with Lupe. Then we heard a ding and the elevator doors opened. I turned around and spotted a middle-aged Asian man in a gray blazer and nylon tracksuit. I nudged Jason and he quieted down. You think he's with them? Lupe asked. Could be. Look at that tracksuit, I exclaimed. I sprang up and walked over to him. Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, I said. But would you happen to know the Chinese women's football team? The man in the gray blazer looked me up and down. Then he inquired me in Chinese. Who are you? I stood up tall and replied in Chinese. I'm Mia Tang, I'm a student journalist, and I love to speak to them. He took a seat in one of the empty chairs next to the fireplace and reached for a newspaper, holding it in front of his face. You have the wrong hotel, he said. Are you their coach? I asked, taking a wild guess. He didn't respond for so long. I was worried my question had gotten lost in a crossword puzzle. Yes, he finally admitted, but they're not here. Hope flooded inside me. It's so great to see you, Mr. Lu, he supplied. I grabbed his hand away from the newspaper and started shaking it enthusiastically. Do you know where I could find them? I just need a couple of minutes of their... They're not taking any interviews, he said finally, putting the paper down and studying me. Especially not from a student journalist. Actually, I tried again. I'm a journalist who happens to be a student. I write for all kinds of newspapers. Here, I can show you. I started digging out my columns from my backpack, but he waved me off. They're staying focused on the big game. That's where their heads are at. And I totally get it. This game is important to Chinese girls all over. Actually, which is why I want to speak to them. I just want to find out about their journey, how they overcame the obstacles to get here. Mr. Lu shook his head hard, like he was trying to air dry his hair. But the world needs to hear their story, I cried. The world needs them to win, Coach Lu said. Then they all want to hear the story. They'll see it's possible for all girls, not just girls with platinum sponsorships, gracing the cover of Sports Illustrated. These women worked their butts off to get this moment, and I wouldn't have them distracted. The elevator doors dinged open again, and a chorus of laughter and Mandarin came gushing out. Hearing my mother tongue, I turned and gasped. There they were, the Chinese players. Su Wen, I cried, running up to the famous striker and captain of the team. Hi, it's such an honor to meet you too, Gao Hong. I called them out in Mandarin like I knew them, like they were my sisters, because that's how it felt. Their jet black hair was straight and silky like mine, and their almond-shaped eyes smiled back at me, curious. My name is Mia Tang, and I'm a writer, and I love to interview you. Just 5 minutes. I've been to every hotel and noodle place in Pasadena looking for you guys. Coach Lu dashed over, trying to sandwich himself between me and the players. Ignore her, he told him. She's just a kid. Su Wen raised an eyebrow at her coach. I was just a kid too when I moved away to play football at a special school. About your age, she smiled at me, then looked around to her fellow players. What do you say, ladies? We got 5 minutes for just a kid? Gao Hong, the goalie, reached for my football ball and started spinning it with her finger. We've got 15, she cried, and then leaned over and asked, You hungry? I heard the donuts in America are pretty amazing. I love donuts, Jason declared. I turned to him, surprised that he could understand Mandarin, but he followed just fine. As I translated for Lupe what Gao said, we led the players over to the hotel coffee shop for some piping hot American donuts.